Hey everybody, Susan here with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. Welcome to the Friday follow along. So every Friday on Facebook I try to share a follow along project that kind of sticks with our theme from the week with our mystery case over on the blog. So this week the mystery case was quick and easy cards. We were focusing on using designer series paper as our primary focal point and then just adding some sentiments to finish them off. And then if you wanted to add other embellishments, of course you could. Like I say, it's your card, make it your way. But I just wanted to give you some quick and easy patterns that could get you started, that could use your pattern paper efficiently and get you lots of cards. So today I'm going to kind of marry all those ideas together. I'm also going to incorporate the stamp set that came in the Joy to the World paper pumpkin kit. I really like it. So it's got a wreath and a flower image, but then it's got all these great sentiments as well. So I'm going to use some of these sentiments on my Follow Along Friday project here for you today. And then I also want to show you, I'm going to be using this Poinsettia Plush Designer Series paper. Now you're looking at this and you're saying, Susan, there's holes in that paper, right? Yes, there are. I went through and I trimmed out the poinsettias to use on some cards already. But there was so much scrap left, I was like, I can't just throw that away. I gotta find a use for it. So I'm gonna use it today. And this, you can do this too when you have scrap, right? If you cut an image out, or you punch an image out, or you die cut an image out, a lot of our papers now have coordinating dies if you buy like a whole bundle. But sometimes there's a lot of edge scrap left over. So what I did was, for example, this piece here, right? This is a 3x4 piece of this paper, but there's this little cut out of it. So that would be like from this piece, this was a 4x6. If I had cut it in half, now this piece, the hole was really big in the middle, so I'd have to put a really big embellishment over that. But this one, I could use this just to have a little bit on the edge. So what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to do a sentiment, and then I'm going to punch it out on a circle, and we're going to put the card together. So let's go ahead and do our sentiment first. So since I used Real Red cardstock to back it, I'm going to use Real Red ink. I've taken the Joy stamp and To the World stamp from that paper pumpkin stamp set. I'm just going to ink that up on my Real Red ink, and I'm going to stamp that down on Whisper White. Then I'm going to come in with a 2-inch circle punch, and I think it's going to fit. Let's see. Yep, it'll fit. So punch that out. Now I've got my sentiment, and that will cover right over the top. So let's just go ahead and put this together. So something with vellum, you can usually see adhesive underneath it, so I'm going to try to keep my vellum behind the flowers here. Now that's going to mean that my edges are going to lift a little bit, but I'm not too concerned about that. You could use glue dots behind here, you could use liquid adhesive behind here. But I just put snail and I just kept it behind my flowers. So I've cut my red paper just 1/4 of an inch bigger than my pattern paper. So I've got a nice framing there. I am going to pop that up on dimensionals, why not? So some dimensionals on the back. Okay, now you could dry emboss your white card. You could stamp a background. I'm going to keep it simple and just put this down like that. So now I've got my sentiment to add. I'm just going to put it right there. Now I could add another red circle behind that if I wanted to, but I'm just going to keep it simple. So I'm actually going to put this right there because I want to make sure I put my sentiment over that, and just put this down over the top. And look at that. No one's going to know that it has a trimmed out flower behind it. It's all covered up. So there's one. Alright, I want to do a second one for you. So again, I have some strips of this poinsettia paper. Okay, so again, if I had a piece like this, right, my big flowers were cut out, but I've got a piece here. So you can see I trimmed an inch. I trimmed an inch off with my paper cutter, and then I split it in half. So I have 1x3 panels here. And I'm going to put adhesive on the back of each one and then just make an array of those 4 pieces going across. So again, I'm going to try to keep my adhesive behind the Plush Poinsettia's snail doesn't really want to run along the back of this. So let's see, get it going again. All right, this one I gotta kind of tack it in a couple places. And there we go. All right, so now I have adhesive on the back of each one. So I cut my red panel this time. These are 3 by 1, so I've got 3 1/4. Okay, so I'll have 1/8 inch. And then I want 1/8 of an inch between, and there's 5 gaps, so that's 5/8. So I went, these are 1 each, so that's 4 and 5/8. So 4 and 5/8 by 3 1/4. Okay, so let me see, I'll just go ahead and use my grid paper. Put that down. I know this why I want this to be in about 1/8. All right, I'm even going to split that. So I want this in about 1/8 on the end. And then I should be able to just go right along and build my array of pieces. Let's see how I do. Yep, that works. All right. So I didn't try to piece them back together. It's just willy-nilly, okay? But now you see this? You can see it on the red. I've got this little nick out of this paper from cutting a flower out. That's okay. Same idea here. I'm going to cover it with a sentiment like that. So let's go ahead and stamp our sentiment. This time I'm going to use this Merry Christmas stamp. Again, it's from that paper pumpkin kit. But any of your sentiment stamps would work. And I'm just going to put that down on Whisper White. Okay. That I'm going to adhere to this strip of red. Now the red is narrower than my white, but it's a 1/2 inch longer, so I'm going to have about 1/4 of an inch on either end to kind of create a banner. Okay, you could use some banner punches, but it's going to go right just like that. So this one I'm going to go ahead and just adhere this straight down onto my card. And I'm going to shoot for the center. And then this one I'll pop up on dimensionals. Dimensionals are the easiest adhesive to use, I have to say. You have to be careful your stuff doesn't get too thick, but I really think it is pretty easy. And then I'm just going to lay that across there. Remember, I had a little nick underneath. So there are 2 cards kind of following in the same idea as this week's mystery case of using designer series paper, cutting it into different sizes, creating different patterns with it, adding a sentiment, and your cards are done. So quick and easy cards. So I hope you enjoyed the follow along. I will post it over on YouTube as well, and I'll probably share it on the blog tomorrow with our end of the week follow-up. But do some fun stamping, guys, and get those Christmas cards all crafted and ready to go so that you can send some fun cards around to your friends and family this year. We all need some sunshine in the mailbox. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me here today, and don't forget to watch the follow-up that shares all the cards from this week, and I'll see you again next week. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.